Alrighty, hey everyone, hope you guys are all having a wonderful Friday. It is Friday, the week is over, and Bitcoin really didn't do too much bad stuff, too much good stuff this week, but you know what? I'll take that over a very bad day, any day of the week, any time of the month, whatever you want to call it here. It's bad for Loki. I only have 2 treats for him left. He's eaten every single one. So after the stream, we're literally going over to the pet food store, little Pet Pro spot where I live, and he's gonna get some luxury goods like water buffalo, some beef, and some beef cheeks, plus these little homemade treats that he likes so much. So this is Loki's second to last treat, and you can see how excited he is about getting it. Can you be like, okay, gentle, gentle. Good boy. Yeah. All right, so guys, what I want to do today is start off with some of the Bitcoin technical analysis, kind of refreshing your memory about what exactly happened this week. I know we've been looking at a lot about the smaller moves that have been happening day to day, but when you zoom out, I mean, it's really nothing happened this week, which is kind of sad, but you know what? I'll take it. I was hoping for much more of a robust move from altcoins, robust move from Bitcoin. Everybody pretty much just kind of plateaued a little bit here for the week. After that, we're going to talk about some of the news that went on. There wasn't really a lot of news this week that really sucked, right? We were talking about a few things here or there, but they weren't really anything of great import. You know, nothing really crazy. It's like, oh my God, that's definitely going to affect the market. It was mostly, you know, Jerome Powell and Donald Trump bromance issues that were kind of arising. Some mean words were said, basically. That's what amounted to this week, with a few bits of earnings here and there that were pretty good for most companies, bad for Tesla, and then going into next week, some of the earnings that we have going up then, and then getting ready for PCE next week and FOMC minutes. We have the opportunity to have a monster week, which I'm very much excited for. So, happy to see all of you guys back in here. I did add memberships back into the streams, just so you guys know. I think I set them for like $1.99 is the cheapest one if you guys want to join. That's just helped me get basically my YouTube reserves up if you guys want to. Let me move this over here very fast, and there we go. All right, so now we're gonna get started with Bitcoin here. You know, guys, before I get started with that, today's stream is sponsored by Flux charts. So if you guys are looking to get into some new what would you want to call it, trading algorithms and stuff like that, both free and paid, they're going to be a great source for you guys, so please check them out. I got to make sure I add these guys onto my description here, so I'm going to do that now just in case. Sometimes for whatever reason YouTube is always changing up my stuff, and yeah, they did right here. There we go, and push that down. There we go. All right, perfect. All right, so as far as Bitcoin's concerned today, guys, I know it's Friday, we all got things to do. Look at this weekly chart. Bitcoin didn't do hardly anything. We pretty much closed off last week at 117,260, and right now we're basically at 117,259 and 99 cents. We've barely moved since last Sunday. Right, we got 2 more days left. There is an opportunity for us to come down a little bit more, and it almost feels like we're trying to do a little bit more of a dip and a rip. You guys remember back last Friday, I thought we were going to have a dip and a rip type of effect. Well, I thought that the dip was going to happen right over here, and then we'd have a rip afterwards. We kind of had a rip, then a dip. Again, we didn't break any major levels of resistance, but we've kind of gone in the opposite way. Right, so while the weekly charts are still bullish overall, we still have a lot of upward momentum. That's all fine and good, right? On the daily charts here, we are running up against one level of resistance that's going to be a little bit of a pain, and that's just basically that Fibonacci level here, right, day by day. But at the top, you can see where the candles have pretty much been closing for that day, and you can see we've really been having some trouble getting and holding above 120,000 bucks. That's kind of our wall as far as we can break above it, but for whatever reason, we just can't close above it, which is going to drive a lot of us crazy, right? Now, despite all that though, you know, if you're looking at the negative side here, which I think a lot of people are, we just broke through the 20-day moving average today. And again, we didn't close down below it. We have another 53 minutes, but it doesn't look like we're going to close down below it. During these times, you see a lot more volatility for Bitcoin. So from open to close, you saw Bitcoin at one point today down around $4,000. Not a good thing. In fact, a pretty scary thing out there for a lot of investors, right? Because altcoins were coming down quite a bit too. However, now I'm seeing Bitcoin's down about 0.69%, 0.88%, excuse me, down about $1,000. And I'm looking at Ethereum is a green right now, Solana is green, Dogecoin's green, Melania is up 7% right now, WIF is up 3, Bonk is up 7, Miro is up 4, Baby Doge up. So we're seeing a little bit of movement from altcoins as they try to stabilize. One of the things that we talked about, I think it was like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, was how Bitcoin dominance was running up against this level of support. And you can see how when it started to bounce off of it, altcoins retreated fast, Bitcoin got rejected, and now you're seeing altcoins come up a little bit more bullish here as the market dominance, excuse me, or Bitcoin dominance is coming down bit by bit, which I think is very, very good. We have all of these trends kind of pointing towards more of a bearish atmosphere right now, which I think is good. I don't really use the technical so much on this besides just kind of seeing what's happening with rate cuts and everything like that. But despite all that, we've seen Bitcoin have a pretty good week. Go over to Bitcoin, go over to the daily chart. What's happened? All this week, we've just been going sideways. Sure, we had a little bit of scariness today, but that's not too much here. At worst, if Bitcoin decides to fall down small, you're probably going to be looking at a move of around $114,000 to $113,000 as levels of support. All right. On the 4-hour chart here, you can see there is some bearishness that's been creeping in. Bearish, bearish, bearish. But that all really much happened, right before that move occurred, right there. And we've had a few signals kind of singing some bearishness here, but in reality, it was just the bearishness we saw over here on the daily a few days ago, and how we weren't just able to keep on grinding up. I think there's a lot of fatigue from buyers to keep on buying and buying and buying, especially when Bitcoin's at all-time highs. It just makes it that much more difficult. However, I will say, if you go over here and you look at like the NASDAQ and stuff like that, it's been kind of rocky, but at least the NASDAQ has been going higher and higher and higher and reaching all-time highs, all-time highs. Same with the SPY, all-time highs, all-time highs, all-time highs. So if you just wait it out, sure, there's going to be some rocky moments, but from, June over here, the market still got up around 5%. Of course, Bitcoin's gone up more than 5%, so I'm okay with letting it rest. It's still that dollar cost average environment, and minus, some scaling out that we've been talking about. And if you guys didn't scale out, it's not like you guys are out of the game, right? You guys have still made some money. You go over here to Ethereum. Ethereum's still getting rejected from this order block, but it can most likely break out soon. Solana's up here, still breaking out. That's good. We talked about that hitting some levels of resistance. Dogecoin hit its level of resistance, plus it was at a trend line basically was right here as well. So a lot of moving parts, everybody, but it's a pretty solid week for the market as everything really just started to consolidate. And actually, even if I would just go over here to the daily chart and look at all these stocks or these tokens, you look at where we were, where we are, we're fine. Trump token's still better. Melania still somehow doing okay. We're fine. Bonk. All right. There's not too many tokens out there where they're lower than where they were just a few weeks ago. So if we're seeing a small pullback, that's absolutely okay. You just want to make sure that you guys were able to scale out something over here, especially if you're buying over here, because people like me, we bought over here, right, on AMP or something like that. We've been waiting and waiting. It's still not bullish enough for us to sell, but for everybody that's been buying down here, getting those really cheap prices, at least they have an opportunity to scale out and take some of that money here well before altcoin season really kicks off here and starts. Now, in terms of news and what's really been going on, I don't want to go through all the stuff that's been on CNBC today. I just kind of want to focus on two big things, and that's that we have the FOMC meeting coming out next Wednesday, plus we have PCE inflation coming out next Thursday. All right, those two things are going to be absolutely massive for us, and they can really give Bitcoin the catalyst it needs to have a massive short squeeze. You've had a lot of new shorts enter the market over the past few days as Bitcoin's kind of stagnated basically for over a week now, but if we can get some good news as far as a rate cut, and I don't mean that Jerome Powell comes out and says we are cutting by 25 basis points. I don't think that's going to happen. I think more realistically what you guys are going to see is Jerome Powell come out and him going to be a little bit more dovish. And that dovishness may just be a nod to Trump to say, please stop fucking with me. I will start cutting rates eventually, so just stop, right? Or it could be more of to the point of saying, hey, push that down there. And then the other one that could happen here is PCE. The inflation data is so good that's like, oh my god, maybe the Fed is going to have to start cutting rates sooner than later, which I think would be good. The one hidden gem I think that I wanted to talk about, but it's not the biggest thing, we do have ADP numbers coming out next month. Remember last month we had that surprise data of 33,000 jobs lost. We have to see how bad or how good that report is. If it starts being good again, that's less of a reason, I would say, for Jerome Powell to cut. But if again it's losing jobs, like job losses out there, that may make the Fed think again, which overall would be great for the market, just because we want to see rates cut, the market go higher and higher and higher. And again, the market's been going higher and higher and higher without those cuts, but once we have those cuts kind of confirmed that it's around the block, you are going to see the markets decide to go a lot higher, which should be very interesting, I might add, only for the fact that a lot of this like jubilant stuff will normally happen, like it'll happen next month, right? If we're cutting in September, everybody's going to be very excited for August. Typically, August is a horrible month for the markets, an absolute horrible month for the market. So, will that jubilation outweigh all of that kind of pessimism that normally comes in October and August, where everybody's starting to take profits, like, okay, cool off a little bit here, or are people going to keep on buying in more and more and more? We'll have to wait and see. One last thing here before we start breaking down some technicals and just answering some questions and stuff like that. Portfolios today, not as high as they were just a few days ago. The group portfolio is still up 22%, which is pretty darn good. The Fart Coin Mania, which was up like 40-50%, is only up around 22% right now. And the high risk one is only up around 13%. So that's also curious. All of a sudden, in the last 24 hours, maple syrup has gone up. And let me kind of show you guys this from this point of view. There we go. Maple syrup is no longer our negative. We now have a profit for maple syrup, which is massive. Maple syrup was down like 20% over the last few days. Over the last 7 days, it ran up 35%. So now we're up 5% with maple syrup, which is great. Turbo's up 36 since we bought it, 36%. Live Pier is up 10% since we bought it. Rio is up 12. Neo's up 14. Aerodyne Finance is up 14. I was hoping for more for that one. Dog is down 14. Mog is up 43. Peanut the Squirrel is up 16. AIOZ is up 28. XCN is only up 5. Alchemist AI, low market cap token, but I'm hoping for this one to do well. That one's down 2%. Pepeon is up 10. Walrus is up 7. Floki's up 64. Vethor is up 4%. Super's up 76. It was up over 100% here. Euler is up 9%, and Nero on Ethereum is down about 1% here. Okay, so everything's still looking pretty good. On the group portfolio safe one, we have Bubble Map still down around 28%, but everything else is green and bringing us some good money. Chronos, Bitcoin, SEI, XRP, all doing fantastic. Official Trump is only up 7-8%, which is like the worst of the greens here, and Hyperliquid's up 11. Everything else is up over 20, 30, 40%, so we're looking pretty good here. And Bitcoin's up 12%, but we overweighted that one, so obviously it's doing pretty well just with the money in there. I spent about a half an hour today looking through this Cointelegraph. There was no big news I wanted to talk to you guys about today from here. This was a very, very bland day in the market, with a lot of the news is like, talking about what happened yesterday with Jerome Powell and Donald Trump meeting at the Reserve Building, the Federal Reserve Building, as it's being renovated, which was freaking hilarious. If you guys haven't watched my video on it, I put it out a while ago. It's new. It usually takes a couple days for my videos to kind of launch right now, which is kind of interesting, but I don't care as long as they're getting views. There we go. They went to construction site, and Trump was trying to say some stuff to Jerome Powell, and Chair Powell was like, no, that's wrong. So we're gonna have some fun with it for sure. All right, now let me back up a little bit here, push this side. Let me actually go back over to this one. Is anything actually moving up right now that we could talk about before we start going over some stuff? Really just small moves, like Mudang is at 5%, say that's not really a lot. Turbo's bouncing off after a crazy downward move. Popcat, same type of move here. So you're just seeing rebounds a little bit right now off of a lot of craziness that happened earlier. Here's one, Bitcoin Cash up 8%. This one's actually reaching new highs in this sequence of higher lows and higher highs that we've been seeing. That's kind of nice. We haven't really touched this one in a minute, but Bitcoin Cash is usually pretty profitable. I think it might even be in one of my, is it in one of my things here, or did I not put it in there? No, I don't think I put it in my portfolios. Nope, I didn't. Yeah, Bitcoin Cash usually moves pretty fast here. But put up the monthly chart. There you go. And relatively speaking, we're doing pretty well. We're not all the way down here at the 2022 lows. We've been up, moving higher and higher. There's a breakout happening right now with Bitcoin Cash that could surge it all the way up here towards $1,300. That's a massive surge, but it's something we've seen happen before. It's just that we've been having lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. We'll have to break that cycle here and see if we can actually go above this level of $1,642, which could be kind of fun. So, hey Nico, happy to see my man. Hey Puma, Randy, Striker, Big Mike, another Big Mike in the house. Can the old coin just jump from here to all-time highs? Bitcoin? Yeah, but it would take some type of big news. It would take a really big amount of news to come in and say, oh my God, the war between Russia and Ukraine is over, or America buying 20 million Bitcoin here the next few weeks in order to fight off the Russians. Something crazy like that, right? Hey Randy, I'm hoping it's a wild weekend right now. I think the day traders are going to have a lot of fun. So if you guys are day traders or you guys are practicing to be day traders, when you're playing around with these moving averages, that's what you guys really want to practice. Preferably if you guys are new, probably going to be on paper trading. But if you guys have been around the block a little bit, you guys can of course stick to some really good high leverage cash trades like at 20x, 30x, but that gets a little bit more extreme of course. Oh, Pumi made some money off Pudgy Penguin. Pudgy Penguin shot up. And I'm glad you were able to take some profit out of there and lock in those gains. And hey, Shirk, I'm doing well. I'm pretty energetic today. I'm back in my fasting environment. That's pretty good. I'm getting ready for next week for me to start eating again. I'm not going to eat, I believe, until next, probably Sunday or Monday. Probably Sunday, because I really do want to eat. But I'm going to be making stir fries once I get all my ingredients. I ordered some garlic and ginger paste today, and then I have some soy sauce. I have low sodium soy sauce, some hoisin sauce, and some sesame oil and some crispy chili oil. Got all that, and I'm going to buy myself on Monday or Sunday whenever I eat. I'm going to go get it fresh from the store. Some thinly sliced beef, some mushrooms, some vegetables, all stir-fried up all together for a nice keto-friendly meal. I'm super excited about it because then I'm going to start eating every other day or every 2 days. So I'm like eat Monday, eat Thursday, eat Saturday type of thing. I'll figure it out. But I'm thinking I want to eat every other day. But then what's going to be weird is you guys are going to see the sofa behind me. I'm probably going to move it over to the side temporarily because I want to be biking on my stationary bike for around 2 hours a day. So I might do like an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon, and see how that works out. And then I'll be also playing video games on my TV or pulling it up right here and playing video games on my computer. So I'm pretty excited. And then I got to go smoking with some friends tonight. Tomorrow night I'm going out with some bars as well. I haven't been out to bars, like bars in a minute here, so I think it'll be pretty good. You know, last night I was chilling with some friends as well. I'm just getting out there and having more fun. And plus, I'm remonetized. All the stress is going away. It's not even like I'm not even making a crazy amount of money from the channel, right? But I'm making more money, which soothes my soul because I do want to do some large investments for the channel. And so far, some of my videos have been breaking 1,000 views, 2,000 views, and I'm like, you know, that's new to me because normally I haven't been as consistent on YouTube, right? So now I'm doing more. I put out 2 videos today. I'm gonna try to do more, but I think what I'm gonna do is like this week I'm gonna see if there's any stories I missed, whether it be crypto, stock stories, oil stories, anything like that. And I'm gonna make videos on them, and I'm just gonna like have them as extra videos I can play for you guys randomly through the week if I just don't have time to make a video that day, right? So today I was able to make 2 videos. I'm really proud of myself for that. And I'll see where it goes. And then in personal life stuff, everything's fine. I'm tired of taking all the pills from fasting, to be honest. So because the pills taste so nasty to me, it's a pill thing, not like a eating it thing. I've decided to, I literally have all these pills upstairs, like a magnesium, zinc, yada, yada, yada. I've basically gotten the gummy forms of all of them off of Amazon today. And I might just give those pills to like friends that say, you want some magnesium pills? Hey man, you want some mag? Besides that, something about pills, dude, pills taste freaking horrible to me nowadays. Maybe because I brush my teeth and I'm not really eating anything. Those pills, they make me want to puke just by touching my tongue. So right now I'm just gonna, I got gummies coming tomorrow. I'm super excited about them. I tried to take a couple pills today. I was like, you know, that nauseous feeling, horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. And hey, Big Mac, I hope we're going up next month. So far, the weekly charts are still bullish here. It's just that historically, August doesn't perform too well. But with institutional money coming in, we might just have to grind up slowly. You know, we might not have a huge, massive rally where everybody's FOMOing to come in. We may just be like another NASDAQ at this point, and I think it's just hard for me to adjust to that type of scenario, right? But at least the economic data is still fine. As long as you're not like in the lower middle classes or like low classes, you're surviving right now. You're not necessarily thriving, but you're not surviving, right? Which I think is fine for most people out there. So hopefully that money keeps on moving around a little bit. Trump and Powell just need to bare knuckle it out if the tension between them is enough for the UFC promo. Man, you know they'd do a pay-per-view fight. Trump would love that shit. Jerome Powell would be like, what the fuck? But Jerome Powell was hilarious today. Jerome Powell was absolutely hilarious today. The way he was yesterday, excuse me, he was shaking his head like, what? No, that's the third building. That building's not even, that building's already been done. What are you talking about? You know, Jerome Powell wasn't having it, you know? But Jerome Powell does stuff like this, and he does appear weaker. Like, he got dragged to this event to do it. He didn't want to be there with Trump. You know he didn't want to be there with Trump. Trump forced him in there. And then, on top of all that, Congress went into what they were trying to repair and what they were trying to do. There was some wasteful spending in that building, and I mean wasteful. They wanted to have, remember we looked it up on ChatGPT, like Italian beehives. Why does the Fed need Italian beehives? We don't need that. We don't need that at all. That's just a luxury that, no, we are losing money, even if it's only like another $1 million. That's $1 million too much for fucking beehives. Way too much. So he's not in the best position as well, but I don't know if that was necessarily his idea to put that in there and he knew about it. He probably just voted it through and like, oh, okay, we need to fix up the building. Okay, let's put some money towards it. That type of stuff. And hey, Giggy Hunter, what's good, Mike? Jesus, just thinking about those pills is making me nauseous. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm not taking pills anymore, guys. That's too much. Gummies, I love gummies, but pills, that chalky flavor, it just hits my tongue in the wrong way. But yeah, so I'm doing well personally. Channel's doing well, getting more views in. I've been posting a lot more stuff. I've been doing short form content a lot more. Like I try to put out 4 or 5 shorts for you guys a day. Since I've been live or back to being remonetized, I've made $65. Again, not a lot, but you know what? I don't care. I'm happy with the money I'm making because again, I can build it up and I can get going from there. Now, shorts are taking off on my channel. You know, my Smart Money Concepts video is doing well as always. The BitBoy video is always doing fine. But then I also post videos like, you know, the tensions explode as Trump confronts Jerry Powell. I did, is it this one? Today's the 25th? No. Oh, that's my live stream right there. Where's that video I just had yesterday? I just had a video out yesterday. A couple days ago. Yeah, this one. Right? Now, that video made me $7, whoop-de-doo, I know. But you see how the views are much higher than normal? The channel is doing well and I'm very happy about it. Now, not every video is going to take off like this, but if I keep on doing more and more and more and more, I think that's going to be very good overall. The thing is, it just takes a long time, like 15-20 hours before the video starts to get views. So all of a sudden my videos like today, they're going to start off real slow, and then sometime over here they're supposed to start getting better and better with more views and stuff like that. So we'll see. But yeah, it's been pretty good overall. I'm pretty excited about it. I just need to keep on posting more and more videos to make sure everything's going pretty smoothly there. Because, you know, if I'm not consistent, which means I should be making videos, like I said, day after day after day, and then I should just have some extra ones laying around so I could talk about something. My thing is, I want to get my teleprompter application fixed for my computer, but I've reinstalled it like 4 times and it's not doing anything, so I'm pretty bummed about that, which means I'm kind of stuck because I got a nice teleprompter. I'd love to read off of it, but what I think I'm going to do is just do the faceless videos where you don't see my face unless I'm like specifically talking to the camera, and besides that I can just read off the script and go blah 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 and make a quick little video, which I think will be pretty darn cool. So we'll see how that works out as well. But I like my method of just talking and that type of stuff, right? It usually works out better. I follow the same method as the channel, the quartering, right? Pedro Pascal blasted for molesting woman on Fantastic Four press tour. South Park bans politics after Trump episode. You know, that type of stuff. But like, I don't care about the culture war stuff. I'm talking about financials. but we have pretty much the same exact setup. So I'm hoping if I do something similar, I can eventually get to that spot. And as I'm losing weight, getting more energy, I have a feeling I can talk more authoritatively, like a, hey everybody, you know, and then I can kind of act into it a little bit more and see how that works out. We'll see if that works out. But I'll still be able to talk more, do more, be more exciting. You know, I'm a pretty bland guy typically, unless I'm like with friends and stuff like that. I'm usually pretty flat monotone. When I'm friends, I got some alcohol on me, some cigars. Oh, I can be freaking a hoot, but you know, it's not that time. It's channel time, education time, financial education time, or serious stuff. Caspa analysis, please. This is top 50 and would like your thoughts. What do you call it? As far as Caspa is concerned, Caspa coin. Wait a second. You talking about Caspa or Casp? Let me look at the Casp. I'm assuming you meant Caspa coin. Yeah, I'm assuming you meant Caspa. And hey, really happy to see my man. Same with you, Mo. So the market cap is 2.6 billion. This has to be something you're talking about right here. So with Caspa, I like it as a longer term hold, but it's not like a post cycle hold. So once Bitcoin's altcoin season is done and stuff like that, I don't hold on to it because I believe it's going to do something magical in the long term. In fact, I typically just sell the majority of my my tokens out of it, and I'll just wait for the news cycle to kind of bottom out, then me kind of buy at the lows and kind of rinse and repeat because it is a solid company. So here, excuse me. Oh, Jesus, sorry. We're opening up a storm, but we're drinking a bunch of water. Caspa is the fastest open source, decentralized, and fully scalable layer 1 in the world. It is the first block DAG, a digital ledger that enables parallel blockchain creation and instant transaction confirmation. It runs a robust proof of work engine designed to handle up to 10 blocks per second without compromising security or decentralization, right? So I read that because if you've heard me say something like that, similarly, you have. There's a lot of companies that do something like this, but again, these guys have a decent market share. So I like these guys for the long term, but as soon as I start looking at Caspa like this, right? This is the monthly chart here. Right, we came down pretty darn hard back over here in 2025. Had a really solid move back over here in 2024, you know? And we came down about 75, 76%. I still think right now you're in a prime loading zone if you want to buy this for a while. There you go. Here's the log version, right? I think you're still in a prime loading zone, if you will. But there's not really too many places where you can add like a Fibonacci low right here. So it's kind of iffy here. So you might even see people do something more of two things. Oh shit, that was glitching out for a second. You can try this one right here for a Fibonacci level. Seeing it work out right there. You could maybe aim for something probably around 30 cents all the way up here to 95. Massive swing, but we just don't know how long this altcoin season is going to last. But I would say reliably, I'd be aiming for like the 30-cent range up here to 50. If it goes any higher, you can scale out whatever little bit you got left at that point, right? So I'd be looking to sell the majority of mine around here. But afterwards, this thing can really die back down fast. So my thing is, you know, why hold it through the rest of the cycle? There's only a few tokens I do that, and that's more for tax purposes and not so much because of what the company is and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a good token to own. It's just more of, it's gonna take a minute, relax, enjoy the ride, but it has a history of having some really good moves, really solid moves. There we go. How much will Bitcoin go up before the correction? I mean, it should try to go up towards 130,000 before anything bad happens, but we're going to see a pretty big catalyst this Wednesday. So if that catalyst is not in our favor as far as tech earnings, and then we have Jerome Powell coming with the FOMC minutes and PCE inflation, if all that's bad, you're going to see the correction happen a lot sooner than, you know, a lot sooner before we hit that $130,000 mark. And hey, Digital K, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking, my man. I'm doing good, MK. Loki's somewhere. He has one treat left. we have to go to the pet store after this. Literally after this, I'm gonna get dressed. I'm in sweatpants and a t-shirt right now. I've been playing outside with Loki all day. He's been rolling around in dirt, literally just taking dirt baths, which is cute to me, but like, damn it, dude, I gotta clean you off afterwards. And I have to go get him a lot more treats. I'm gonna spend like $50 on treats for that guy. Yeah, probably $50 unless I want to give him something special. But yeah, he's been eating tons and tons of treats, tons and tons of treats the last few days. But he's been exercising so much, I usually don't care, right? And sometimes I just give him a kibble as a treat, and it's just like food to him, right? So he's doing fine. I'm doing fine. Everybody's, you know, chill. I've been trying to go out and do more stuff here, but I've been having a rough time of just like, I go out, then I stay out too late, then I come back home and I stay up too late, and then I wake up too late to do all the stuff I want to do for YouTube, right? I preferably, I'd want my first video every morning to be out around 10 o'clock in the morning. Typically right now it's around 12 o'clock because I normally get back around like 1 o'clock. I fall asleep around 2 o'clock, 8 hours of sleep. I wake up around 10 o'clock, right? So I'm trying to work on that, better myself. But that's been my fault here, which is why, again, I'm gonna try to do the videos like before I leave, and that way I can just ramp them up for 8 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, let them sit and see where people kind of, what people want to watch, right? But yeah, I'm happy. I'm in a good mood. Just the YouTube channel's taking off a little bit more now. More views on shorts, more views from regular videos, more money coming in because of monetizations. I set up the membership thing earlier today, so all the memberships are back. And for people that were kicked off my memberships because of YouTube demonetization, if you sign back up, it still says, oh yeah, you were a member for 10 months, 5 months, whatever, which is pretty nice. I like that as well. So things are going well. I just wish there was more exciting stuff to talk to you guys about today. Today was really darn boring. I know we had this little bit of a drop, but it wasn't too chaotic. We're bouncing off the support right now. We're trying to see if we can hold on. We have a few more days before the weekly candle closes, but that weekly candle is still pretty bullish here. So any type of volatility we see on the downward side, it's going to have to be a really big one in order to jolt us from that more dovish MACD, if you will, right? I'm probably not going to be live on Wednesday morning when they have the FOMC minutes, but I will be live right afterwards, probably on that 4 o'clock, the same time as normal. Or what I could do is just go live during that and not go live in the afternoon, and all of you guys kind of rewatch everything, and I'll just make a separate video discussing about what it was about. That could also work out, but I don't know. That really depends on if I have to do something later on night and on Wednesday. A lot of my friends have been asking me to go up to Seattle to hang out with them, and usually they want to hang out around like 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock. But if I'm streaming from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, right, I'm not going to make it to Seattle within like a few minutes. There's so much traffic that goes up there, right? So I'm just like, nah, I'll pass. Now they're starting to get annoyed with me, so now I gotta like find a way to get up there. So maybe that's what I'll do for next Wednesday. I'll stream a little bit earlier than get it over with. As far as that, like, got a stream feeling, right? Get it over with, and then talk with you guys for a bit, chill out, talk about the FOMC meeting, watch it, and then maybe head up to Seattle around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, or something like that, and get there for some dinner, things like that. But yeah, I'm doing well. It's just weird, you know. My ADHD is getting a little bit better because I've been fasting and I don't really have the insulin spiking messing with my dopamine and stuff like that. I think that's how it works. I'm not entirely sure. But how do I say it? I'm still not at that level where I'm like, you know, that perfect talking that I used to be able to do before I got like really bad ADHD. So I got to work on myself on that one. In fact, I need to take a pill today. I forgot to take I took my ADHD pill, but it was so nasty. I literally spit it up and almost threw up in the sink. So I need to take that pill with some tea or coffee or something like that. Maybe some iced coffee with some maybe I should make some tea with milk. That'd be good. Just like chug it up. Because those pills do help me out, but I haven't had a pill in like a week here, which sucks because you're supposed to take them for like 2 weeks straight, then they really start to have effects. Yeah, I haven't been doing that at all. I suck at consistency and things like that. You think Powell's going to cut 25 basis points this Wednesday? I don't think he will. I think he wants to cut 0 for now. He wants to start cutting in September. I could be wrong about that one, but he just seems so adamant that he's not gonna cut. Again, I think he should cut. I just don't think he necessarily will. You take the train to Seattle now? Yeah, I would, but the train doesn't come back late enough for me to go up to Seattle, right? You know, I make decent money, I know, but I hate having to pay like $100 plus to get back to my house using Uber. Uber is expensive nowadays because they wanted to give all the drivers like livable wages and stuff like that. So I'm just like, I'm not taking Uber that much anymore. Maybe Lyft because it's a little bit cheaper, but like $100 just to get home, shit. You know, I still know the value of $100. So now I just typically go up when I have friends, or if I'm going up there, I'm not planning to drink. I'm just up there to chill for a little bit, then drive back down. All right. His meeting with Trump was sus. Oh yeah, it was a crazy time though. So Link, ADA, Soul, Near. For me, I'm holding them, but I'm also scaling out, right? Now I hold all of those except for, no, I don't know those. Sorry, I thought there was AVAX in there as well. I don't hold AVAX. So I think all of those are fine for holding right now. But like I talked to you guys about a few days ago, and Bitcoin was hitting that level of resistance, I would not be afraid of scaling out 5 to 10% of your tokens right now, especially if they've been moving up and you have a good little bit of profit in there. Or like some tokens, like you guys know I've shown you, not all of my tokens are profitable right now. I'm just gonna let those sit and kind of wait for a while. But as far as all those tokens there, I'm in a scale out mode. We're in a really good market right now. Bitcoin's at all-time highs, or practically at all-time highs. Altcoins are making some moves, but they haven't gone parabolic yet. So as those moves, you know, are happening bit by bit, I just feel the need to scale out and have some fun with it, right? Like all of a sudden right now, you know, after Bitcoin hit this last round of all-time highs, you know, out of my position that I bought back in 2022, you know, for the cycle, I'm basically like 20% out of all of my positions here, right? I should stress that's with Ethereum and Bitcoin and Solana, not really anything else there. I have a lot of bags like Matic, you know, things like that, which are fine. But as far as those particular tokens, they're more of a kind of a wait and see approach, and you're just holding them unless you feel the need to scale out, which I think, you know, I'm happy to scale out all the time, but I've been also holding some of those suckers for years, and some have been making me money, some have been a little bit more lacking, right? I think Near has been pretty good overall. Bitcoin's moving up a little bit right now on the 15-minute chart. That's nice. See that nice little breakout. Yeah, there we go. So that's good to see there. I wonder if I add on one of my indicators here. Did I add it on? Let me try this one. We still have the weekly still being bullish overall with the change of characters. The daily is still bullish, change of characters. 4 hour, 2 hour, and the 1 hour showing a little bit of bearishness right there. So I still think there's an opportunity for us to have some larger moves here. That's not really the case. It's kind of just like, when is it going to happen? Because we've already started the breakout. We just hit our first level of resistance, right? The next big level that we have to worry about is $138,000. You know, but again, we typically stop every 10,000 bucks. But again, that big Fibonacci level is going to be at 138,000 bucks, and ultimately the really large one is $175,000. Which again, it may take months to get there, but that's what we're looking for. Only way we don't hit that level right now is if we go into some type of recession, or the economy starts to flounder a little bit, and then that would mean Jerome Powell did a bad job, and we don't want to assume that Jerome Powell is doing a bad job. Right? We want to assume that he's doing some really good stuff. All right, let me see very fast. Bitcoin Cash is still doing fine. Let's pop this over here. Any breaking news that we need to focus on? $40 to $50 two-way on train for me. I can spend that in just gas. If I have extra cash, I'd be nice hotel for a night of drinking. Yeah, I've been there, done that, but oh my god, those Seattle hotels, like, let me show you this very fast. Expedia stays Seattle. let's say you just wanted to stay the weekend here. Let's say one night, Friday, Saturday night, right? And you're going to Seattle. Ooh, shit. Embassy Suites by Hilton downtown. That one's $1,900 for the night. This one is $900 for the night as a townhome. Motel 6 is going to cost you $278, but $313 total. Studio 6 is going to cost you $512 for the night. Red Roof in Seattle Airport, that's not even in downtown Seattle, as you know. That's $540. The Hyatt Regency is sold out. Everything's sold out, right? It's always because we have like concerts and stuff in here. Like, who's the concert Seattle today? Morgan Wallen and Miranda Lambert, right? And then other concerts like at the Moore Theater Showbox, right? So everybody's coming into town, and look at all the sold out hotels. I mean, like $2,000 for Embassy Suites, right? Or go up north here, $1,000 for a townhome. Search this area. Maybe if we go to Bellevue, this is where the very nice, luxurious part of Washington's at. And they're sold out too. Unavailable, sold out. Oh my God. Morgan Walk Country Stars coming into town, I guess. That means that Seattle's gonna be one big party though. Maybe West Seattle over here by the airport. This is Boeing Field. They're all sold out too. This is 40 minutes south of Seattle. They're sold out too. Damn. Yeah, so I give up on trying to pay all that stuff for I'd rather sleep in my car, have some homeless person banging on that thing, give me your keys, and I'm like, shit, no, I drive off. But yeah, it's gonna be a busy night up in Seattle. I am not going up there tonight. It's just the traffic's gonna be absolutely insane. I'm going up there tomorrow though, which will be very, very fun. I'll be up there tomorrow, which will be a good time. Is scaling out a bad idea if I'm shooting for a higher price? No, not at all. So some people like to scale out large chunks, like 20% or 50%, but you could scale out 5% if you feel like you've been making some good money, but you just want to lock some of it in case the worst were to happen. You can take out 5%, you can take out 4%, you can even take out 1% scale it if you really wanted to. You know, that's what I do every now and again. I'm like, hey, you know what? 10% might be a little bit much. Let me take out a few $100 worth, and that few $100 ends up being around 2 to 3%. You can definitely do it that way. There's no, oh, you have to do it one way or the other. It just kind of depends on how you feel. Because a lot of times I scale out too early, and I've made no, I've made no excuses for that. I just happen to do that, but I just like knowing, oh yeah, I've made money, but it's not really my money until I sell that asset. So I'm typically like, okay, now I've made my money, right? And I'll do it 10%, 15, 20, whatever it may be. But I like to have that like, oh yeah, now it's mine. Now my account is larger because now I can pull it out, pay my bills and things like that. Good to go. But you don't have to do it that way. You don't even have to scale it if you don't want to, if you're hoping for something larger. That's just increasing your risk, right? That's just increasing the risk that maybe it doesn't hit that level you're expecting and it goes down and you're kind of holding a bag for a while. It increases that risk. But again, in this type of market environment, Bitcoin's still going higher. Everything is still looking pretty well. Nobody's like freaking out about the economy right now. More about just how rates are hurting individual families and how like things are cracking, but they're not breaking, I guess you would say. That cracking is pretty scary though. So yeah, scaling out is typically what I want to do. Especially, but again, it depends on how big the move has been since you bought it, right? Like I started selling my Nvidia. Here's the monthly chart for Nvidia, right? So I bought Nvidia back over here on 2022, 2023, right? I sold the majority of mine over here, right? Now I've been able to buy a little bit more and I'm making some more money, but I was happy with this kind of profit around here of around 540%. In fact, the little bit I got left, I'm sure it's even higher than that now. But I've had this stuff in my retirement account for years and years and years and years before AI stuff wasn't a thing. And that's because I'm a gamer and I know everybody uses the chips that Nvidia provides, this and AMD, right? But specifically for like this cycle thing, I was like, I didn't know Nvidia was gonna go that high. So I started to scale out though, right there, right? Scaled a little bit more right here as it was coming back down, scaled up a little bit right here, and I scaled the majority of it out when it was surging right here. And I was like, you know what? I'm okay with selling the majority of mine out. Then I spent literally months telling you guys, damn, I was an idiot for selling because it kept on going higher. But you know what? Like, I still racked in all the money from buying down here and selling up there and selling the different parts up here. That's the way I like to think about it. You know, I'd prefer to do it that way. You know, even things like Netflix, look at that. Woo, baby, look at that. That's just crazy time as well. MU, you know, still going up higher. Microsoft still going up higher. Lots of opportunities, lots and lots of opportunities, big old gap ups and things like that. But, you know, just take it slow. When it hits levels of supports, when it's going down and crashing, that's typically when you buy a lot of assets. You don't ever buy assets when it's going up like that unless you really just want to hold for like a few months, for years, then you're fine. But if you can see something of a nasty opportunity there, oh God, like this move right here, went down about 40% for Microsoft. Oh, glorious opportunity to be buying up some there. That way you can play this right up here. Let's say you bought over here a little bit. You know, right now I'd be around a 100% increase. Over here 66, but something more realistic, you know, just that, it's 34, you know, for 34% for the year. That's pretty solid returns. People don't think about it like that, but they are pretty solid returns. Remember, I have that Robinhood account and I bought it a long time ago. Again, I don't use my Robinhood account anymore, but I have it. Let me see if I can actually log into this sucker. I think I have to send a text. There you go. With my few cents here. I got $61 trapped in here. I mean, it's not trapped, I could do something with it, but I haven't. But I bought some fun a long time ago. I'm down 67% on that, or just $6 basically, because I didn't put much money in. I didn't think it was going to do great long term. I was hoping it would have some fun with it though, but I kind of forgot about it. And I got that Nvidia, which is up 951%, right? So I bought it for an average of $16.50, right? And now it's worth $56. And I've just been holding on to it for a few years. Now imagine you put a couple $100 in there, what that would be in that same amount of time. Now again, it's not like it's magical money gains and stuff like that, but if you just hold it, usually does pretty well. That's why I think everybody should really start investing. Investing is like the number one thing you can do for your own financial health. You just have to have the money to invest, which usually means for most people, you have your job, then you have your side hustle. I had my job. Like, remember, I was doing marketing for a company downtown Seattle. I was making good money. I was still doing Uber, and that Uber was basically all my investing money and all my fun money. That way I could like chill and be responsible with my money. Because if you live in a metropolitan area like a city, even if you're making good money, you still feel poor. And I don't know how to describe that, but it's like, because the rent is $3,000 a month, your parking is $400 a month. To go out and eat and have a few drinks, it's like $150 for the night, plus a tip, right? So like everything you do is just more expensive. And then some crumbs fall to like the servers, you know, everybody like that who kind of supports your lifestyle. But damn, it's not like you are spending money if you want to have a good time. So in order to spend money and have a good time, right? I wasn't crazy with, I was spending money, and also have money to invest and do all that other stuff, you know, retirement plus investment accounts. A side hustle. Side hustle is the key to investing. It's just you have to make a profit from your side hustle, and you have to realize that you're probably not going to see your friends as much or have as much fun if you have a side hustle, because you're going to be hustling. That being said, if you're able to side hustle with a friend, that makes things pretty interesting as far as, you know, then you get to have some fun. As long as you're not breaking the law, you're having fun, doing a good time. Not that bad right there. Train is sold out also. See, yep. You know, Uber rides up to Seattle are going to be crazy. Imagine somebody doing Uber tonight. Hey, I'm doing Uber rides to Seattle only. There's going to be somebody wanting to do that, right? Ultimately, if you scale out, you're not maximizing your profit. Yeah, so the thing about that one is nobody knows exactly how high it's going to go, but at a certain point in time, you do need to like make a profit off of your trades. You know, you could be up a couple $1,000 bucks, but until you sell that, you know, it's just in the market, right? Because, you know, the way I look at it, I rotate my assets around, right? Like, so sometimes I'm holding a bunch of NVIDIA, right? But after I sold NVIDIA, I started moving a lot of my NVIDIA back into Philip Morris. And I was talking about that back in the day, saying when people start to feel more depressed and stuff like this, kind of as election was getting around, you typically see a lot more money getting funneled into there. So I'd been loading up in Philip Morris since maybe like 2021. I think I bought my first few shares back in 2018 or something like that. But I've been buying into them for a while because they always have strong earnings and they always know what they're about and they have solid dividends. So like you pull up a company like that, you know. All right, loading up, nice little pop right here. And what have I been doing, right? Well, I don't know if you guys can kind of see that level, that line right there, right? All right, so isn't the best one, I would say. Preferably it's supposed to be here to here to here, but this is what we'll use. Oh no, let me actually just do this. I'll show you guys how I normally would do it. Because this one's a little bit different because it's not the same as a tech stock. Tech stocks are so much easier to trade. There we go. Okay. See a little bit of resistance there, a little bit right there, a little bit right here, right? And a little bit right there, I guess, before it started to break out a little bit more. You know, I really started to scale out right over here, right? November, a little bit over there. And then back over here, I scaled a little bit more. And right now, I may scale out if we don't really finish off. This month has been pretty rough for them, to be honest with that. This week has been really rough for them. So I'm watching. We've had really rough weeks before, but I think I'm going to put a stop loss down here at 149 and risk losing the $10, but I just want to see if it holds up. You know, but my average is way over here. And $96, you know, selling it for like 160 or 129. Those are fair things. But you just don't know, right? Like, for example, what's a stock that nobody likes? Like a Macy's or a Target or something like that, right? So here's Macy's monthly chart. Let's say that you buy down here because, yeah, let's say there's a fib retracement on this level. You buy. And you're like, okay, yeah, sweet. I'm going to buy somewhere in this golden zone right here. So you buy some stuff up, right? And let's say you just bought something over here, right? And you're like, oh yeah, we're going up. I'm not going to scale out because I know we're going to get back up here towards 233, right? And it goes up higher and higher, but it never reaches it. So if you were to hold through that entire time, right now you're losing money, right? Instead of scaling out like 5% here, 10% here, 10% up here at this level of resistance, well then you might have scaled out like 20%, so you've locked in 20% of those gains, and the rest of it can be sitting for a while to see if it gets better over the years or something like that. Or you could at least say, having sold here, here, and here, you could sell right here. If it breaks down, you could have like a trailing stop loss and just sell everything right there that's left over to know that you at least bought here, sold over here, without having to worry about this becoming a bag, which happens to a lot of investors out there, right? You just never know where the top is going to finish up. You just never know where that top is going to be. So if you really like, if you focus too much on it, all of a sudden you're holding a bag, and that bag can last you a while. So why not scale out? That's my thought process, at least. You don't have to do them my way. I've just been burned too many times by saying, oh, it's going to keep on going higher. It's going to keep on going higher. Oh, no, now we're going to war with Iran. Ah, shit. You know what I mean? Like, that type of stuff happens. Is it better to take profits and enter when price goes down a little bit, or better to scale out? Is it better to take profits and enter when the price goes down a little bit? Well, I don't normally take profits when the price is crashing or coming down quite a bit. I normally do it as it's pumping up and it's hitting some type of big level of resistance. For example, you saw with Ethereum, we had that order block on the screen. Told you guys this last week. Perfect opportunity to scale it if you guys haven't already. It's a big level of resistance. Of course, it can still break out, but if you bought anywhere over the past few weeks, right? You're still up already around 50%. Why not take a little cut of it? You can see what happens next. And if you really want to, you can have a move the stop loss up to maybe $3,200 or something like that, right? So no matter what, you're walking away with a profit. But as far as scaling out versus that, I scale out because you never know if it's going to keep on running. I don't sell everything at once. I've never done that. Sometimes I sell in bulk, but that has to be a very crazy thing that's happened, like a massive gap up. Like when Dogecoin hit, was it 50 cents back in 2021? I told everybody if Dogecoin hits 50 cents, excuse me, I'm selling half of my Dogecoin. Normally I'd scale out bit by bit, but Dogecoin was such a phenomenon, so I was like, oh sure. Then I scaled out a little bit more at 60 cents, a little bit more at 70 cents, and then I was stuck holding a bag, not necessarily a bag, but like, you know, I was stuck holding the rest of mine for like years. I'm still holding on to it, right? Because I bought it way back over here, so technically it's on a bag, but like, obviously I want Dogecoin to go up to like past $1, right? I want to be able to make some good money from all that. Do you mean like close along and re-enter at a lower price and scale out of the position, which is a better option? So the first one that you're talking about, that's more for if you're day trading. The second one is more if you're swing trading or thinking more long-term. That's the way I'd phrase it. Because a lot of times if you're doing more trading, that's more fees, that's more taxes. Or if you're scaling out, it's like one sell, one sell, one sell. Instead of buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. It's like a different type of thing. So typically I just buy, sell, 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 sell. Not a big difference. It's not a massive difference, but I've just personally found more success. I would try both ways and just kind of see which one, like put it onto a Google Sheet or something like that. And I would see which one is bringing you in more profit as you practice with paper trading or real currencies, whatever. As you're practicing with it, see which one is bringing you more income, and then just kind of follow along with that one, and then practice both to get to a level where you feel really comfortable using it. Sorry, just making sure Loki's not behind me. Give outlook and analysis. I can do one of those. Probably, like you said, 88. No, you said link first. I can do link. Let me see. Link has always been a good one, especially during the altcoin seasons. It has some really good runs. Right now, this has been kind of an interesting one. It's been in like a nice little channel. You may want to call it a blowhorn or something like that, but I think it's more of just a channel here for now. All right, nice little channel going higher. You got the higher lows and whatnot. Momentum is kind of iffy on this one on the monthly chart, where other tokens have been a lot more bullish. This one has not been, but I would say Bitcoin is thriving, so this should be thriving as well, as you can see from that last month. Excuse me. So one of the other things is the Fibonacci's for this one have been actually a little bit more weird. So you can see this right here, right? We've kind of just launched. Again, this is a monthly chart, so maybe I go to the daily chart, but like broke above, broke above, broke above, broke above, a little bit there, but broke above, right? It hasn't really been the best technical forward cryptocurrency, if you ask me. Now, excuse me. All of that being said, I would expect this thing to reach all-time highs this cycle just because of how well it's been doing so far, and Bitcoin isn't so high that we've kind of started the altcoin season type of move. So I would expect this thing to get above the $52 that it did in the past, but I'm thinking more of this Fibonacci level, if I can remember where the low was. There we go. We've seen a little bit of resistance there, a little bit there, a little bit there. All right, I'd be expecting somewhere between $81 and up here around 178. Now, when you look at Chainlink, though, this is the issue. The market cap is 12 billion. So I'd probably skew closer towards the $80 range and less of the $172 range. All right, I'd much more be thinking of all-time highs, like basically above this order block to this, would be the majority of my selling zone going forward, just because the market cap is so freaking high on this one. I am hoping that because Coinbase is having leverage trading here pretty soon, I'm not entirely sure if it's live or not, but as they kind of implement that, I'm hoping it'll push more money into tokens like this and maybe possibly get them to go much higher. But for now, you know, it's doing solid, but I'd probably be kind of capping this between $80 to maybe $100, and probably $80 to $95, to be honest. That'd be my sweet spot for selling. And again, it's at $18 right now. It can go up a lot more. But you can see back in the past, this thing had some really just crazy months grinding up higher and higher and higher. You know, how long can that sustain itself this time? I don't know, because we don't really have that government money coming in and giving everybody free money to toss into every single token, right? But at least this cycle twice so far, we've seen like 1, 2, 3, like 3 solid months of growth, 3 solid months of growth. Possibly going forward, we could see another 3 months of solid growth after we break out here close to all-time highs, and that's where we get up to that $80, $95 plus type of range over there. All right. Okay, everybody, I'm going to call it a night here. I will be live with you guys on Sunday. I'm going to take tomorrow off so I can kind of relax. I am still going to be putting out a lot of videos. Please, if you get a chance, and this is just if you see any of my videos on your For You screen, please click on them and watch the entire thing if you guys are interested in them. For whatever reason, it takes a minute for the views to come through. So by like letting YouTube know that you like the content, it usually shares it with more people. So I'd appreciate if you guys did that. If not, no worries. Of course, I know it's a little busy day. All of you guys got Fridays and stuff to do. But I'll see you guys on Sunday, and then we're going to be talking and getting ready for the FOMC meeting, which is going to be absolutely insane. So see you guys later, and I'm hoping the Sunday stream will be a little bit longer because we're going to be going over AI tokens as well as the general cryptocurrency news as well.